Welcome back to another episode of the Meaningful Topics podcast. Today we are in the PGA studio here at PGA Frisco, the home of the PGA of America. Thank you, City of Frisco, for making this happen, inviting me into this studio. And I'm very excited today because we are with the Senior Director of the PGA's Education and Organizational Development Department, and that also means he can kick me out of my professional golf management program if this does not go well. So one thing to keep in mind as I'm going through this interview, it's not live, thankfully. This is Dawes Marlatt, and thank you, Dawes, for being here with us today.
Oh, you're welcome. It's my pleasure.
And you're not going to kick me out of the program, right?
I'm not going to kick you out.
Okay. And we have it on camera now. Well, let's start by hearing a little bit more about you. What was your journey like from becoming a PGA member to now in the role that you are today?
Wow, it's a great question. It's a mouthful for me to answer because, I don't know that anybody, very few people that I know choose the job that they're going to do. Most of the time, the job chooses them. And my time and tenure through the university system had some ups and downs. I had a nice time when I was going to college. And I never really would have thought that college would have been the spot where I would have landed, and education would be the sweet spot for how I would be able to add the most value in my career to help people get better and perform better and be able to realize their life pursuits, whatever that happens to be. How I got to this role in the PGA was unique because I started out being a head golf professional or PGA professional, a variety of different levels, assistant golf pro, head professional, general manager, and so on. But I took an opportunity to pursue a consultancy role for PGA when they were looking for consultants.
Okay.
And so I did that, and got to know the people and the places that we went to and fell in love with it. And then the rest is sort of history from there when they asked me to come work.
I like it. So you felt a passion for something, you didn't know you'd feel it in the moment, and then you just kept following it, and now you're here.
Yeah, I mean, I've worked in the industry at different facility types, at different levels, for many years before doing this. And then I wound up working for the University of Idaho while playing golf with the president. We decided that maybe building a golf management program would be fun to do. So I did. As we went through that process, I got linked closer to the PGA of America, and it was really a joy to do. I enjoyed the process of building the program, recruiting the students, watching the students grow up, succeed in their lives, succeed in their careers, and so on. Through all that, they build a wonderful network, and I think their network becomes their net worth when they go through their career.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's been really exciting.
Absolutely. I know you've also mentioned now the PGM program, some of the programs that you've instilled here are AI assisted now. But to your point, it's basically to help streamline the human connections from what I've seen as well. Do you think AI is going to be more incorporated into the future of the PGA?
Well, I think AI is going to allow everybody to be more efficient at what they do. I think in the game of golf, our emotion captures the attention of everybody around us. And until robots are able to do that, I think we're pretty safe. But it does allow us to be more efficient. It allows us to use technology to save some time where we can think, learn, and grow and build a little slack for ourselves, because so often me, my colleagues, my team, we'll get to our car at the end of the day and we're exhausted. And we feel like we didn't get a darn thing done. I think with technology, if used properly, we'll be a lot more efficient in how we go about our day to produce as much value as we can during the day.
And it's interesting because this building specifically I see as a perfect marriage of the two, honestly. Right. There's so much tech here, but it's designed in a way that's an open floor plan. So I can see Sean over there chipping and pitching out of the bunker. And then we've got the putt technology, we've got the bays, and I can watch everything pretty much from one central spot. So I feel like I'm engaged in everyone's activities here. What was your thought process? Because you had a hand in designing this layout, correct?
Yeah, I was responsible for designing the entire layout of this training and development area. It was just, I thought to myself, what would intrigue me? You know, and you have to have the most contemporary technology possible for these young men and women coming through here. But it needs to be agile enough where you can trade it out, so to speak, because it's changing so fast.
That's a good point.
And we've already refurbished the studio, the full swing simulator studio over there twice. It's been exciting, but building something that was contemporary, that was attractive, that allowed them to build a skill that was unique enough so that they could participate in their careers and add value and make a living and have the sort of lifestyle that they desired to have.
Well, you said the technology was switched out. What's been updated since?
And technology is changing and advancing so fast. So we use simulators, some custom opportunities over there, and then some non-custom opportunities. But the simulators that we just changed them out to give everybody a fair shot. It's such a visible place. When people walk in here, they want to know who's doing what and what are you using. And we have to be trendy because the people we serve, support, and train are using these tools also. So we do it in a planned rotation.
Okay.
Without naming vendors.
Yeah.
If for anybody who comes in here, you'll see.
Yeah,
it's exciting.
Exactly. A little plug to come in here for
Right.
yourself.
That's right.
I like that. Well, you also mentioned too that we worked on our skills as golf professionals. We need to be able to demonstrate the shots. So that bunker that's in the middle of your floor plan right now, all of us were in there trying to make sure we perfected that shot out. We have that competitiveness to us as well as golfers. I think it's also a great benefit to your employees that are working here day in and day out. You also have a video game console set up too. So how have you seen the staff that work here 9 to 5 engage with that environment that you have here?
Yeah, it's a wonderful culture here. So it's unique when you can have a workplace become a friendly environment where people really enjoy and desire to come here. And so golf is supposed to be fun, and we embrace fun all throughout this building. The bunker room you talked about is a central piece of identity for this place. When we thought about it, we didn't think it was going to have or carry as much identity as it does, but people walk in there, they're amazed by just what it is and how it performs. So it's fun to have, if you set it up just right, it captures their attention, their imagination, and they really desire to build skills around that. And so whether it's short game, chipping, pitching, bunker shots, you can hit drivers in that room because of the netting complex that we have. You can hit long irons and fairway woods out of that bunker too.
Wow.
But people enjoy it, and it's fun. And sometimes we got to remember that golf should be fun. It's serious too because there's a lot of business that's done, and it's complex. We have a multi-generational audience that comes in here, so we need to be respectful and disciplined about how we do it. But making certain that we have all the parts and pieces in place, so when somebody comes in here, we're exceeding their expectations.
Well, it definitely has exceeded mine. It's going to stick in my mind a bit longer, especially when those shots I didn't get out of the bunker. I fogged up the room a little bit with sand, I think, honestly. But I'll be in there later tonight, I think. And on to that point, though, a lot of golf professionals that I see in their space, we had a podcast with Trish, and she is so diligent about making her members feel seen and heard and have the best experience possible. And I've seen that with a lot of my colleagues where they put their members and the golfer and the clients first, and then they're second. And I think that is great. It also could lead to burnout. It can lead to health concerns. It can lead to a lot of things. I mean, even as simple as not reapplying sunscreen throughout the day because you're giving 10 lessons and, little things like that. With the golf professional, especially those that are outside at a club working day in and day out, do you have any encouragement or motivation or just way of life that you would like to maybe wish that they would instill a little bit more of?
Yeah, it's so easy in our business to fall victim to this transactional grind that happens. You blink your eyes and sometimes you skip a decade. But the reality is golf is so attractive to people that they just want to be around the golf professional. And so I think it's incumbent upon the golf professional to make sure that they stay curious, stay motivated for themselves, learn new things, be immersed in the new technology that's available. If teaching and coaching is what they choose to do, if they're on the other side and they're in the building, nobody wants to be around somebody that's in a bad mood. So making sure that they're always inspired and they don't forget about what it is we're doing. We're connecting people to a great game, and it's outdoors. And the kids are smiling and laughing, and their parents and grandparents are smiling and laughing. But the golf professional is the cornerstone to all that success. And so do I have an answer for how they're going to avoid burnout other than staying curious and delegating appropriately and not trying to be everywhere at the same time? Maybe not, but golf is a lifestyle. And so I think if they're in the right spot and they really enjoy it, they probably are going to be just fine for 20, 30-year career.
I really do appreciate programs like what the PGA has instilled here, and even just, like I said, the layout of the home here. As golf branches out and is more specific and more inclusive, I think it becomes a little more easy for the golf professional to then adapt and realize the big picture of it. You know, it doesn't have to be 10 hours a day on the range outside. We can really mix it up a little bit more and keep it fun for everyone. And I like that you're kind of setting that example here at the home of PGA of America. Earlier in the week, we had a conversation about a hobby that you like to do. Do you want to share with everyone how many triathlons you've completed?
A lot. A lot.
Okay. Oh, well, that's a prime example, I think, of you know, having a healthy work-life balance.
Right.
Also, it is a sport that requires a lot of mental strength. Is there any correlations that you've seen between triathlon training and golf?
Well, I think the lessons that I've learned in triathlon, whether it's an Ironman distance triathlon or a sprint triathlon, one thing for sure has to happen. You have to move to finish. But the sport teaches you discipline. And it's not easy to do any of those distances or races if you're not committed and you have a plan and you carry out the plan. Kind of sounds like golf, kind of sounds like life. But you got to be accountable to yourself, disciplined to the plan that you put forward, and be a bit vulnerable at times. But I think too often, and always do hard things.
Yeah.
Whatever you can imagine to do as hard a thing as you could possibly imagine to do. Because then you're going to learn about your resilience. You're going to learn about how gritty you need to be. You're going to learn a lot about yourself when you do those kinds of things. But yeah, whether it's triathlon, but golf is no different. In golf, you're competing against the golf course, and it doesn't ever lose. And so we have this pursuit of excellence for all of us. And so it depends on your personality trait. I would caution anybody that wants to do anything like golf or triathlon that it is addicting. So, but it's a good, healthy sport, and there's always a lot of advice people are willing to give, and the communities themselves kind of support one another. So it's fun.
That is great. I did think about that actually. The triathlon community that trains together is a pretty strong one. Right? You're in it together, and same with golf.
Right.
Find your people, and you really enjoy it. For me, my people would not be doing the triathlon in the first place, so I avoid that crew. But I do really think it's incredible to be able to have that mental strength.
Yeah.
And you said the challenge of the golf course. So we know the PGA Championship is coming here next year to the Fields Ranch and the East Course specifically. I got to play the West. It's incredible. The green complexes are so engaging and entertaining to me that I'm like, I want to come back many more times. East, I think, is very similar from what I've heard. What are ways that PGA of America is preparing for that event?
Oh, they're very committed to excellence. We've got great partners in this city and in this district with the Omni group. It's just been fascinating, and so their eyes are wide open. Our eyes are wide open. We get a lot of feedback, and they're doing everything they can to prepare to put the very best championship on that the world's ever seen. So it's exciting. A lot of support. It's good to have a lot of energy and enthusiasm by the local community to support this. And this is what it's all about. This was one of the primary objectives for us coming here, and next year we're going to see it happen. Now we've had the senior PGA and the women's PGA, and we'll cap it off with the men's PGA. So we're excited. The plan's coming together, and everybody loves it.
Well, going back to your role specifically, I think you've built out an incredible program with the professional golf management program that I'm currently in. The coaching and teaching has been phenomenal from the coaches that have been presenting to us. They have so much experience and so many incredible stories that we're learning from. So we're learning basically by watching them in action. So really appreciate that perspective. What's one thing you're excited for, looking forward to in the future of golf, specifically within your role of education director?
Oh gosh, one thing, that's a good question.
Okay, so list out as many as you want.
There's lots of things I'm excited about, but it's easy to get excited when you bring people in for training and development. That's what we do here. Certainly education, they understand the terms and definitions, but it's really about building the competency. to be effective in the workplace, to add value. And you know, the growth of the program has been amazing. Last 3 or 4 years, we've had more people than ever before. So it continues to be an all-time high kind of thing. How do we bring together all the generations that sit in the rooms with you, that were sitting in there today, and the experiences they share? So we're excited about just bringing people together, share their experiences, improve their talents, and just watch their success. Because golf professionals stand out in any community. They are the mayor of their town. They really care deeply about, you know, their emotional intelligence is very high, you know, and so the more people we can bring through here, the better off we are. I'm excited about taking advantage of all the trends and insights that happen. We just have to be agile enough to be able to adopt those quickly. My greatest responsibility is to make sure that we're relevant. And that's really hard to do in an ever-changing marketplace.
Well, it sounds like you're staffing the right people to do so, and this facility specifically caters to that. One example is Ronny's Golf Park, right next door, focused on just junior golf.
That's fabulous.
Yes, and we got to hear from the director, Chad. Do you want to explain a little bit more on that? Because, I mean, I can also repeat what Chad said, but that facility seems like it's one of its kind.
Yeah, I mean, from my perspective, we're all trying to achieve the same thing. You know, how do we create a wonderful experience to serve the community, whether it's a community of golf professionals or community of juniors or community of just family members. And the foresight that the North Texas PGA had when they built that was brilliant, because it really does draw the community together to grow the game, to you know, allow everybody an affordable opportunity to put their hands on a club and see what this is all about, to see the magic of how this works. And maybe along those lines, there's no replacement for watching somebody hit a golf ball, see it fly in the air. Until you see it fly in the air, once you do, you want to do it again. And it's the magic of that place. They really do a nice job over there.
I thought about that program because you said kind of thinking outside the box a little bit and kind of summarizing a little bit of your perspective and what you're excited about as the future. And they're doing it there. They're bringing in golf instructors that really are playing these games that are very interactive and making golf fun again. And they have 3-year-olds in their program. They've got it down to an art. And I think that just speaks to the programming here in general and inspiring the next generation. There's about 50 million people in the last couple years, I think the data was from 2025, that have participated in a golf activity. And that is an incredibly high number in my mind, which I do see it. It's growing so fast. What's your take on why it's growing so fast, the sport of golf?
Well, it's certainly exciting. It's a healthy sport. You can get outside. But I think one of the things that's encouraging people to play the game outside is this idea that there's so much non-traditional access to it. Video games have become popular, simulators, indoor facilities, businesses. The entrepreneurial spirit that golf brings forward has allowed all these places like Drive Shack and Top Golf and 5 Iron and so on. I can't think of all of them, but there's lots of opportunities and lots of outlets to do it. There's a lot of green grass out there too, nearly 15,000 golf courses. And so there's something for everybody in golf. And I think people really enjoy it. I think the media picks up on it well. We just had a PGA championship that was well covered. It was a wonderful, wonderful sport, wonderful competition with a great champion. And I think people, it's an aspirational game. And it's quite easy to learn the basics. And it's pretty affordable to play. Now, we're not going to be playing some of the nicest courses. I wouldn't consider that affordable, but there is something like the Ronny Golf Park over there that you can play no charge. And so, yeah, it's just a wonderful game that continues, the resiliency of the game and the traditions of the game continue to attract social, competitive players of all sizes and all ages.
Yeah, what I'm hearing is it's also relational, like you said. Those environments, you're implying that there's other people involved.
That's right.
Which is very neat to see. And as we're in this, very heavy online technology-filled world now, I think the ties to those relationship opportunities are are really valuable. And the space like we have here at PGA Frisco, the district that has the was it dance floor, I believe, hearing from Trish Holt, the golf professional at Fields Ranch, and being able to hear from her all the activities and programs that are open to the public and some of which are free, like the dance floor. And it's nice to see facilities like this leaning into that. But I agree with you too. It's very easy marketing wise to put a camera on a golfer and watch them follow them around, hear their conversation with their caddy, another relationship that's a really fun dynamic. Everyone wants a best friend in the sport, and the caddy sometimes is your best friend. You get to experience wins with them and losses with them. And why I started this podcast was just building relationships and leaning into those meaningful topics that you can have through the sport of golf as well. When you spend 5 hours with them on the golf course. Yeah. It's very exciting to see your perspective on where golf is heading, and then also the program's been placed to teach professionals like myself to instill that in their students and their community.
Yeah, I would just say one final thing. I think not to get lost in all this is the sacrifice that PGA professionals make to provide this enjoyable atmosphere for everybody that comes in. Many don't realize that you yourself are going through this program, and it's a multi-year rigorous program, and you're doing it certainly for your career, but you're doing it so you can provide an opportunity for everybody else. And so without PGA professionals, all the things that we've described, all the things that people get to see and witness don't happen. I mean, they're really committed to providing a wonderful experience for everybody. And they work late nights, early mornings. You know, they're the ones responsible for all the joy that comes out of this, but they too at the end of the night have to clean up and get the golf cars ready to go and the clubs ready to go and the range set and ready to go. And so that the next morning when everybody comes in, they're having a great experience all over again. And that process happens every single day. And it's because of the great PGA professionals that we have, nearly 32,000 of them, that the game's as strong and vibrant as it is. And that it's growing traditionally on green grass and non-traditionally in the tech world, and it's exciting. So moving forward, you know, who knows what tomorrow's going to bring, but the game of golf will be right in the middle of it.
To speak more about the professional golf management program from my perspective, I spent 10 years in the education system. I was an elementary education teacher, and then I worked in higher ed. And it's neat to see your instructors that are leading our seminars speak on key points in the development of learning. They're speaking to these amazing teaching strategies by demonstrating and asking us questions and letting us get to those answers on our own and empowering us to be able to run programs like that. So it just speaks to the caliber of this program coming from an education background. I think it's really neat to see the crossover. They are very skilled master teachers that we have here in the programs, and that will just only set the PGA members up more for their club.
Well, coming from my position, being responsible for all of it, to hear you say that is a joy, because that's the goal.
That's good.
So thank you.
They're doing it, and they're very quick to answer a phone call and help mentor in this space too. So that's what I've seen in this community, not just with golf in general. It's a very supportive community, but especially with the PGA program. You call up another course and say, I'm a PGA member, and there's just a different level there of respect, because you know you have people that are committed to the game and committed to their golfers and their students, and they're willing to help out just a little bit more, honestly.
That's great. And Mariah, you should know we're keeping our eyes on you too. So you got to get to the end of this thing, be a PGA member.
I know, I've done a lot of talk, haven't I? Yes, I need to finish my program. And honestly, it's really not that bad. It's been great to help. I say that. I'm like 2-3 years in now, for those who have been tracking my journey. It really is challenging, and it makes me step out of my comfort zone. For example, I just led a 5-week junior golf clinic, group sessions, 5 weeks in a row.
That's great.
It was great. I would not have done that, otherwise, honestly. I wouldn't have put myself in that position, but it's neat to talk to my peers and classmates who are doing the same thing as well and say, what did you do when Johnny ran into the pond because there was a turtle, which happened in my class? The things you don't think about, So it was great to then share stories and be able to be in that program together, and again, put in a situation where I wouldn't normally put myself, just to be a better teacher.
Excellent.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for all you do for our programs and for sharing your wisdom today.
Well, thank you.